This is the book of Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 in the NLT. So that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. First and foremost, especially in these times today, we want to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and the heads and elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the Bayath Dawada, Bayath Dawayad, Bayath Dawad, the house of David, the tabernacle of David, those predestined spirits of election scattered abroad, starting with the governing body in the kingdom to come, the 144,000, 12,000 men from each tribe of Yasharallah, Israel, the prophets, including the scattered remnant of men, women, and children outside of the office of a prophet across the four corners of the earth. To you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Tazapanya of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. camp, Ottawa, Ratazah, Lord willing. The spiritual commentary is edifying to the elect. So this is a crypto channel, Versan Aljara. You know what I'm saying? He goes into gold, silver, XRP, XLM, HBAR, and others. This is the financial system is breaking and the truth is coming out. Okay. They're going to mention Hegelian dialectic and what's happening on the global stage. And I'm going to filter it through the scriptures because that's what we do as watchmen and prophets, men of the Lord, of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. I brought out that Second Corinthians because we have to understand that this devil, this physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, Shaitan, all right, is the so-called white man, but his true biblical nationality they are Edomites, the people who the Lord have indignation forever. Malachi 1 and 4. Indignation means righteous anger. He hates them, okay? Pursuant to also Malachi in the first chapter in the second verse, also in Romans the ninth chapter. Okay, so we have to be aware of the things that he has up his sleeve, so to speak, amongst the prophecies that we know is going to come to pass. Okay, the scriptures say that we know in part and we prophesy in part. So we know the MOTB, which is the RFID chip, which Great Millstone is the only camp in the avant-garde of all these camps, all right, who has the 100% truth that is pushing and actually loves, all right, our people, even though we know it's only for the elect because the scriptures say open rebuke is better than secret love. So we're telling you what's to come down the pike while these other camps is going into nonsense, content creation, black love, marriage, counseling, right? Things of that nature, rather than prophecy. Because when you get down to the nitty gritty, the testimony of Yahweh Shah, those that Yahweh Shah is dealing with, is the spirit of prophecy. So those that are actually truly prophesying according to the scriptures is the ones that Yahweh Shah is truly dealing with. So without further ado, pay attention. I'm going to get some scriptures. We're going to close it out and we're going to comment through the spirit.
Till this day, we're all still trying to really figure it out. But I think when we look at the bigger picture, it's pretty damn clear what's going on, what's been going on, and how this may unfold, right? But yes, it's so interwoven with each other. And I think the whole Epstein thing will start to reveal more of this information. So, because if you look closely at the Epstein files, all right, and everything, you start to see it's more than just a scandal. It reveals this massive network that had so much influence and decision making, which was tied to a lot of the systemic leverage in the banking system and all the financial institutions. Okay. So you had financial institutions, political actors, and crypto adoption all influenced by the same hidden pressures. So the disclosures of this, in my opinion, by the way, what you see coming out with the whole Epstein thing is a soft controlled disclosure. They are intentionally allowing this to come out. Why? And this is what I was saying in the beginning, none of these events are happening in isolation. Think about it. If the disclosure of the whole Epstein files are the catalyst, what is it going to do? It's going to reinforce the transparency narrative. It's going to recalibrate trust. It's going to accelerate the moves that we start seeing in markets and policy. So I think it's all tied together. But maybe,
And you know it's crazy that he said that, because I seen on Instagram, DC Drano, he's a congressman or senator on the Republican side, and he reposted Salaki, I'm still under the weather right now, but dealing with he reposted a tweet that somebody tweeted saying if if getting the unredacted names on, you know, the PDF files, right, with E to the F, right, has to or will collapse the system, the world system, then fuck it, we need to, the world system needs to collapse. Imagine a politician reposting and agreeing with somebody saying that this thing needs to go down, which would mean that he would lose his job, right? We're in a time now where the sedition is so high, right? You have, and I can't say you have to, but the elect that understands the scriptures, they understand that we're at the pinnacle of prophecy in these end times, these last of the days, right? And we're about to see something so great that many prophets of old would like to see, which the prophets of old is really here now through reincarnation, if you can receive it. The things that is about to happen in months time frame, we're in a different spectrum of political dissonance, ideological um severance, okay, proving that the scriptures, the Hebrew scrolls, is the number one written word ever, and it doesn't lie, and the Lord's word does not go out void, okay? Because when the scriptures talks about that, they will not regard their princes or rulers in second Esdras. Just today, they're saying it might have been political or might have been not, but there was a Republican candidate in Minnesota where and the elder out in Kansas City did a video on it. His daughter, right, got unalived by her man, right, due to the fact I seen another article in regards to it that it was an argument over Nero 47. So whether it was politically charged or whatever it may be, but it's showing you that if you're a politician, okay, people have a target towards you. Like when they're about to talk about the trust. So matter of fact, let's continue on.
maybe we should move on. There are a lot of other subjects we could talk about, and this thing with Bitcoin, we can go on forever. We really could. So, Edo, do you have any thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. the Epstein files release feels intentional. They had those files for a long time. Why is this coming out today? Why is it all correlated with the crypto meltdown that we are witnessing? This is no coincidence. And I really came with this insight. I think I said this in the turning point last week. So I truly believe this is also about killing the trust in politicians and institutions.
Right. And I agree with him on that. They're purposely putting this out now amongst everything else that's happening on the global stage to destroy the trust of the Babylonian people towards their politicians. Okay, because again, they need chaos to bring order. So they've been waiting, they've been using certain orchestrated events that seem to not hit the tipping point for the average spiritual Egyptian, which spiritual Egypt is pursuing of Revelation 11 is America, to bug out, to wild out, should I? Yeah, wild out, start wilding, right? In the streets. They need that to be at that point. They need people to be moving emotionally and violently. And they're trying to figure out, in a sense, by using tests, what is going to make them get to that point. If you read Behold the Pale Horse, all right, it talks about silent wars. All right, it talks about stress tests. You see, and that's Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. It's the reaction that they're seeing when they create the problem so that they can come out with the solution. So they do it over and over and over again. And and now that we're in the age of AI, quantum computing, right, and blockchain, right, where you can record these things on a ledger, right, um, on a astronomical rate, right, they're able to create an algorithm and predict based upon people's reaction to certain things that they cause on what is going to make the people move a certain type of way, right? So when you talk about little girls or little children, and really women and children seem to be one of those Achilles heel for the emotional, low vibrational Babylonian. See, us of the great millstone, because we know the scriptures, right? Like Ezekiel chapter 9, right? Starting at verse 4 on down, we see how the Most High moves. There isn't no respect of persons with the Most High. And Yahweh Shah said, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect, right? So we don't get all butthurt if a child or a woman gets judged. Let's just keep it a buck. Okay, but these people who don't know how the God of Israel works, they would use that and cause that to run amok. Okay, so these elites, right? These are the devices of the Amalekites, these Edomites at the top, that they would use to get an advantage over those, right, that are sheeple. All right, but they can't get an advantage over us because we know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. We're not locked in to the witchcraft and spells of the left hand side through Esau Edom. Okay.
I mean, it's about destroying the public trust. That's what it is. And it's also problem, reaction, solution.
See?
That's how the elites operate. Because now they're going to come out with an AI driven solution that's going to replace elected politicians.
And I think they're doing that in Romania. I could be wrong, but they have an AI politician to decide certain things and on a government type level. So if people don't agree with the left, they don't agree with the right, we'll come out with a nonpartisan creation, artificial intelligence, that is willing to judge without no respect of persons. You see, so this is a dystopia that we're leading towards, man. This is why Yahushua has to come and save his elect, because for the elect's sake, all right, the days have to be shortened, or no flesh will be saved.
Think about this. Who are you going to vote in the next elections? Right is on the Epstein files, left is in the Epstein files, celebrities are dead, everyone is involved. Elon Musk is dead, Donald Trump is dead, every single one of them is involved, and we don't have the full release of the Epstein files yet. So, why are they releasing the Epstein files in this moment? As I say, they're going to come out with a solution that is blockchain driven, rely on smart contracts, and I predict it will be a system where decisions are taken by artificial intelligence to get rid of the human factor. And the real danger is that who wrote the code? Who's behind AI? The same people that are creating the problem are giving you the solution. And I think this is what's unfolding next.
No, very, very spot on analysis. Like you said, and like none of this again is happening in isolation. Let me like try to break it down one more time, and maybe in a different manner. It's just I was afraid to post an article yesterday because the ridicule that comes with it, but more importantly, I didn't want to like hurt my credibility as far as the whole UAP thing too. And I'm not going to get into this thing, but again, it's just like everything from gold and silver, the surges, XRP being integrated into the role of institutional finance, the whole Bitcoin tether volatility, the Fed announcement chair pick, the artificial intelligence breakthroughs, all of this with even Epstein, okay, and now the UAPs, okay. They're trying to get Bob Lazar in front of the Senate. Some people will be following this narrative, but I mean, on multiple levels, just how finance, politics, technological, and psychological events are unfolding. It's deeply interconnected. My point being is that in order to bring in the new system, you have to create and allow this soft disclosure dripping chaos. Okay, there's a pattern that we've been seeing, and the pattern is very consistent with every major economic and financial reset in history. So we've seen this before. Okay, and
So there's no new thing under the sun.
only after that, the erosion of trust, like you said, of like these new policies, this capital can be realigned into the new world order. And that's exactly what's happening today. It's happening across multiple domains. So it's just very challenging, again, to grasp all these threads and see just the speed and complexity. And that's really what makes it challenging for most people to see the full picture.
Right. So that's why people can't really. You got Hebrew Israelite camps. For the most part, they sold out. And if they didn't sell out, they just can't see it. The Lord blinded them. But like he said, the speed and complexity. But it's not that complex. It's only complex to those that don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? The MOTB is the RFID hip, okay, in your hand, or the BCI in your head. Period. Okay? But notice the speed too. Okay? The scriptures say in Revelation 12 and 12. Let's go and get it real quick. Revelation chapter 12. All right. In verse 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." That's the point. So the speed that is happening right now. But see, the Lord has been given the Spirit, and we believe through full faith unto the apostles of Great Millstone, starting with Elder Apostle Hall on down. All right, to see specifically the prophecy of the mark of the beast, okay, before anybody else can see it decades ago. All right, and the speed of how the infrastructure and the reset is happening before our face. And this is why they can't get the bigger picture, just like he said. Now, I'm filtering it through the scriptures. Of course, he's not understanding it through the scriptures, right? But this is the financial system breaking, okay? Because that's ultimately what it's about, all right? They want that chaos because they can't just come out with a new financial system, all right? And people are not on board, all right? They're not going to go along with it. All right. So the trust needs to be broken from the last system so people can jump into an alternative to try to save themselves, quote unquote. All right. And one way that they're going to do that is by coercing the masses with their saving device, which, like I said, is the MOTB. All right. So this is all Hegelian dialectic. The truth is coming out, but it's being um piecemealed. Okay. So, and it's for a reason. So I'm gonna go into the Apocrypha real quick and I'm gonna end out on that. All right, because the scriptures talk about, all right, the the scriptures talk about the wickedness of this devil. All right. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So we're seeing the wickedness of this enemy, Esau, Edom, growing and growing like time does with iron being left out uh the um in the atmosphere for oxygen. All right. Oxygen hits iron. You're not maintaining it or coating it with anything. It's going to rust. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Yeah, that those are those devices from this devil. Yeah, right. This in Job it says he tries to please the poor. Okay. So he hears the cries that he's the one that make them put them in that situation for them to cry, right? And then he try to come out like as if he's humbling himself. He has some type of humility and he's going to help you, all right? But the scriptures say to take heed and to beware of what he's doing. It says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. So when it comes to him, you're supposed to really, this is what is a deep dive. All right. This is not just looking at the surface level. All right. So if you have a looking glass, you're not just going to let it be cloudy because when you look through it, you ain't going to be able to see. You want to see something, you got to put in the work. All right. Put some heat to it, whether it be your breath, you know what I'm saying? Wipe it down like you wiping your glasses off or whatever it may be. All right. And it says, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Right. So you would think that he's trying to help out the people when it comes with this convenient new technology. Okay. But this technology, when you get down into the research and you're studying to show thyself approved, you will see that at the end of the day, it's all about control. All right. He wants to be like the Most High, as the scriptures say. Okay. He wants to be omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, all knowing, all powerful, um uh or ever present. Something to that effect. Okay. So we are supposed to be aware of our surroundings. That's why the scriptures say be circumspect, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Who's creating these evil days, man? Okay, the devil, Revelation 12:12. He's come down unto us having great wrath. All right, it is a wrathful thing, all right, to destroy the economy and make your life a living hell through hyperinflation for you to cry out because you can't take care of your family or eat for that matter, just for them to come out with a solution and say, yo, this is what we got for you. And then if you accept it, you're literally taking away all your rights and presenting yourself as wanting to be a slave unto him and to worship him like some type of god. Okay. Which, if you do that and show your loyalty to this devil through action, which is a piercing of the skin with the karax and putting the charagma inside of you, then it's over for you. Slow bucks. You a dub. All right. The Lord sees that and is like, okay, you done chose your side now. All right. So we then chose our side and we're constantly praying to be of the number, pursuant to Revelation. What is that? 3:10, where it goes on to say that um since thou hast kept thy patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So we cannot keep ourselves from the hour of temptation. Yahweh Shai puts the spirit on us to be able to keep from the hour of temptation, but it's a condition. You will be given the spirit to resist the devil, right? So that he can flee, whether that means you hold fast what thou hast unto death, or you get spiritual power, or you would living as pilgrims on the earth and they can't catch you, whatever it may be. All right. That in order to by keeping that patience, which is a fruit of the spirit. So you have to go through that long suffering. You got to go through that. Yo, I don't know what is in store for me in the future. However, I still put my trust in Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. That's the spirit that we got to be in. Okay, so as this thing is breaking, remember in Ecclesiastes it says there's a time to break down and a time to build up. We're in the time to breaking down when it comes to the financial system with this Edomite. Okay. And when he fully collapses it, he's going to build up his system. Remember Malachi 1, it says that we will rebuild the desolate places. He's the one creating the desolate place, which is destroying America from the inside. So, because America can't be the single unipolar superpower of the world. They have to divide and conquer in order to conquer fully the whole world. But it's only going to be for a little moment, because when he fills his belly, right, then the Lord is going to put him in straight. So Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. On to the next one. Shalom.